Iran's use of electric shocks on LGBT children is, quote, torture. On Wednesday, February 10th, the United Nations released a report describing appalling details of electric shock and other means of torture that the Islamic Republic of Iran uses against LGBT children, while claiming their intent is to, quote-unquote, cure them. Javaid Rehman, the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Iran, issued a damning report confirming the oppression and systemic torture of LGBT people and many other minorities, including labor rights activists, women, ethnic and religious minorities. Also, in July of 2019, the human rights non-governmental organization, or NGO, 6RANG, reported that Iran operates an increasing number of, quote, private and semi-governmental psychological and psychiatric clinics, end quote, throughout the country, engaging in, quote, corrective treatment or reparative therapies on LGBT people. Same-sex consensual sex is forbidden in the Islamic Republic of Iran, punishable by flogging and in some cases death. In Iran, the law, quote, does not distinguish between consensual and non-consensual same-sex intercourse.
Yeah, this is... I mean, what else? What do you want to say? There's nothing to say. Look at this tweet.
Well, I mean, I thought it was quite significant that this is a tweet highlighting some other reports by that same NGO, 6RANG. I thought it was important to highlight this is an official report released by the United Nations, right? So this carries a whole different level of gravity and credibility. Although obviously, the UN has its own issues. The report also highlighted that there are a lot of community leaders who often refer to the LGBT community as diseased and subhuman. Peter Thatchell, the famed LGBT campaigner, he's British, basically equated this use of torture to the medical experimentation that the Yazis of World War II performed on LGBT people, using coded language because YouTube be sensitive. And he recommended that Iran be excluded from Twitter's international medical associations and conferences. Previously, this is just to give you guys more background, the Jerusalem Post examined a 2008 WikiLeaks cable that stated that Iran's clerical regime has executed between 4,000 and 6,000 gays and lesbians since the country's Islamic Revolution in 1979. Iran, I believe, is the second world's largest state executioner, or they have the second largest numbers of state executions, which, and I think if you do a calculation based on the per capita, it's the largest in the world, although I don't trust the numbers coming out of China. So yeah, obviously this is a huge, it's horrible, it's appalling. I didn't even really want to get into the details of what this report really describes. And Javaid Rehman, again, the special rapporteur from the United Nations to Iran, said, quote, he is concerned about the reports that, these children are subjected to electric shocks and the administration of hormones and strong psychoactive medications. These practices amount to torture and cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment and violate the state's obligations under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Convention of Rights of the Child. The Committee on the Rights of a Child wrote, quote, the reported treatment of these individuals violates their rights to liberty, fair trial, integrity, privacy, dignity, equality before the law, non-discrimination, and the absolute prohibition on torture and other cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment and punishments as enshrined in international law. So I haven't been able to find anything about any sort of action that is going to be taken on this. But given that this is a finding by the UN, I hope that there are actions taken by this, although I don't really know like what can be done.
Yeah. I mean, anything I want to say is just so obvious that I don't even feel like saying. Like, what do I say? Like, if I say like this is horrible, this is disgusting, more people should pay attention to this. More people should, like, what do I say that is not already obvious? Like, it just feels like all of it goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just say some things that are not obvious. If anybody wants to say, I'm glad that I didn't see anybody in the live chat saying, "Well, Republicans would want to do the same." Like, so I'm glad that
Jeez.
I'm glad I didn't see that today. So thank the devil for that. Yeah, but also I don't understand, because we know that these, like, for example, these electric shock stuff. We know that they are pseudoscience. Like, what is like
That's not entirely true.
what do you mean?
So, the popularized, or what we popularly know as electric shock therapy that we saw like in the 60s, that is not very good science. It's not true. Not true. Using it for something like this is obviously torture. It's not science. There are very highly technical forms of electric shock therapy that are done in an incredibly more humane way that we have now in the 21st century, that are used for intractable forms of depression, bipolar, etc. But it is completely different from this and what it used to be.
So I meant for curing the gay.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, that's what I meant. So I just want to, like, sometimes, like, I don't understand what's the motivation behind this. By the way, a lot of idiots think that, oh, Iran is progressive because being trans is allowed in Iran. They don't. So if you're one of those idiots who thinks that, just understand that the government's understanding of what trans and gay is completely idiotic. Like, they think their understanding is that if you're gay, then you should be trans to be able to sleep with it. Like, they don't understand the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. They mix it together. There are a lot of people in Iran who are gay, who are basically forced into going through sex exchange operation, even though they are not trans. They are okay. They are happy with the gender that they are perceived at, but they change their appearance just so that they could be with the people, legally be able to be with the people who they are attracted to. Imagine you not having any form of gender dysphoria and going through sex exchange operation. Like, imagine what a nightmare that is, right? So this whole, oh, Iran is progressive because being trans is legal. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about if you ever think that. Okay, this is a country that has executed a lot of people for being gay. Okay, so don't ever suggest that, oh, because being trans in Iran is legal, that means they're progressive. Don't ever suggest that. Okay, don't. Be better.
Be best.
Be best. Anyways.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.